Have you ever thought about how to be the best version of yourself in relationships? A lot of people do, because deep down we all want love, respect, and to be truly valued by those around us. But how do we get this? How do we earn real value? Admiration not just for superficial qualities or accomplishments, but for who we truly are at our core. Imagine every real relationship as an adventure, and you are the explorer of your own self. You want to uncover the hidden treasures within your soul and share them with others. But to do that, you need a mapper path leading to understanding, connection, and ultimately love. Today, I will guide you in discovering your true value in a relationship based on 9 ancient Stoic philosophical lessons. So pay attention, for these are not mere empty pieces of advice. You often hear, it's about empowering yourself in ways you may not have imagined. Get ready to shed light on the mysteries of cultivating a life filled with love and meaningful relationships, ones that are built on mutual respect and inner strength. Now let's get started. Lesson 1. Understanding your true worth. So how does Stoicism relate to understanding your value in relationships? Stoics believed in focusing on what we have power over, and guess what? Yourself. Value is entirely within your grasp. It's not about how many likes you get on social media, or if someone is interested in you. It's about how you see and value yourself. Imagine that you are a rare rock. Not everyone sees how valuable it is, right? Some people might walk by without realizing how important it is. But that doesn't change the gem's value. It's still valuable, rare, and unique. That's how you are. Your value doesn't change just because someone misses it. Let's be honest, we've all been turned down and felt inadequate, especially in today's world where everyone seems to be doing well. But here's the truth with a Stoic attitude. Your worth doesn't rest on what other people say about you. It comes from how you act and your values. In your actions, are you kind, honest, and living in a way that fits with your values? That's where your real worth lies. Stoics believed in thinking about oneself. So take a moment to think about your traits, not just the obvious ones, but also the deeper ones. This is how you'll find strength. In relationships, it's about finding strength in your own value and self-worth, even if other people don't see it. Remember that realizing your worth isn't a one-time thing. It's a journey that lasts a lifetime. It means waking up every day and telling yourself that you're valuable, not because of what other people think, but because of the things that make you unique. Lesson 2. Hold yourself with honor now, before you start picturing a Stoic as this ancient figure with a straight face and no smile. Let me make things clear. Stoicism isn't about hiding your feelings or not caring about anything. It's about knowing what's worth your energy and what's not. Guess what? The way you present yourself is worth your energy, so let's talk about what it means to treat yourself with respect in relationships. Sometimes we go to great lengths to impress someone, but in the process, we lose sight of who we really are. We change how we dress and talk in order to get their approval. But here's the important thing. Your self-respect isn't based on your clothing style or the trendy places you go. It's based on how you present yourself, the things you do, and the choices you make. Imagine you're in a classroom watching 2 students give presentations. One student uses big words and gestures to impress the crowd, while the other student keeps their cool and talks naturally and with confidence. Which student do you think leaves the most lasting impression? Usually, it's the one who is real and at ease with themselves, isn't it? This shows how important it is to treat yourself with respect. Stoics, who were known for their ideas about self-control and virtue, stressed how important it was to be honest and respect oneself. So, how does this apply to dating today? It's simple. Be yourself. If you love reading, embrace it. If you have a strong passion for something, let it show. It's not about pretending to be someone else. It's about being comfortable and sure of who you are and knowing that you are valuable just the way you are. And here's another important point: respecting yourself. How you treat yourself sets the standard for how others will treat you. If you're always criticizing yourself, you're basically telling others they can do the same. But when you respect yourself and value your time, energy, and emotions, you're making a strong statement. Think about what the wise Stoic philosopher Epictetus said. It's not what happens to you that matters in relationships, but how you react to it. It's not just about how you look or what you say. It's also about how you act in different situations. Are you acting with desperation or dignity? Are you giving up your values to fit in, or are you staying true to yourself, even if it means standing alone? This doesn't require perfection. We all have flaws and feel weird sometimes. What counts is how you handle those situations. Do you break down under stress, or do you stay strong, learn, and keep going? Let's take a moment to think about how we can start to treat ourselves with more respect. One way could be to set clear boundaries, or say no to things that don't fit with our values. Additionally, it could mean being kind and respectful to ourselves more. If you think you deserve respect, others will start to agree with you. Lesson 3: How to communicate without words. I know this may sound a little old-fashioned or strict at first, but please hear me out. It's not about being hard to talk to. It's about knowing your worth and loving yourself. What does Stoicism say about this? Stoicism teaches us how to stay strong and in control, but not in a boring or strict way. It's about knowing what's important and not giving it away too easily in a world where we want things right away and scroll through social media all the time. Being tough is like a breath of fresh air. When we're dating or getting to know someone, we often feel rushed to share everything with them: our time, our space, and our deepest feelings. But Stoics would tell us to take a step back. Why? Because when something is always available, it loses its uniqueness. That's just how humans are. If you're always there for someone when they need you, saying yes to everything, where's the fun in that? The puzzle looking forward to? Let's talk about how to politely break rules. The tough way first. It starts with how you look. Dressing stylishly but modestly isn't just about how you look. It sends a message that says, I respect myself. You're not hiding who you are, but you're also not revealing everything right away either. It's about finding balance and saying, there's more to me than what you see. Another important thing is managing your time and focusing. In today's highly connected world, choosing who gets your time is a meaningful choice. It's not about playing games. It's about letting people know that my time is valuable and that I carefully choose how to spend it. When you're with someone, be fully present and engaged. When you're not, it's okay to be unreachable. Putting your energy into your own personal growth and life goals. Stoicism also stresses controlling your emotions. Being cold or disconnected isn't encouraged. Instead, keeping a balanced perspective is. This means not letting small things affect you too much. It means keeping your cool and peace. You don't give your emotional energy to everyone. It's something that you earn, just like how you choose who gets your time and attention. I'm not saying you should stop caring about other people or act like a stoic statue. We're all human, and real relationships are important for a happy life. But there's something special about taking things one step at a time. Pace is about making links that aren't just about getting what you want right away. It's about building deep, lasting relationships that go beyond instant gratification and quick fixes. To keep things in perspective, setting limits isn't about controlling people or situations. It's about respecting yourself and sticking to your values. It's about showing that you value yourself and deserve to be treated with respect, both in words and actions. Here's to being a little more selective, composed, and stoic in our relationship approach. It's about finding a balance between being open and honest, between sharing and holding back a bit, and trust me, it has a big effect on how other people see and treat you. Here's to valuing ourselves and EMB, brushing up on our stoicism in today's dating scene. The fourth lesson. Being ready to walk away is a powerful stoic idea. Letting go doesn't mean being cold or uncaring. It means knowing what we can change and what we can't. One of the most empowering things we can do is choose whether to stay or leave a situation that doesn't support our well-being. This is especially important in relationships. We've all been in situations where we know we deserve better, but choose to stay. It could be because we're afraid of being alone, the unknown, or just holding on to hope that things will get better. This is where Stoicism comes in. Real strength comes from knowing that we can stay or leave situations that go against our values and choose a different path. If things get tough in a relationship, it takes work, time, and understanding. But it's important to know your values and self-worth so well that you're ready to move on when something fundamentally goes against them. It's about having the inner strength and stoic courage to say, I respect myself too much to settle for less than I deserve. Let's look into this idea in more detail. Being able to leave a situation shows that you respect yourself. It means standing up for what you believe in and knowing what you're worth. Leaving doesn't have to be a big deal all the time. Sometimes it's just a quiet choice, a peaceful understanding that this isn't right for you. I get that not knowing what the future holds can be scary, but remember our Stoic friends. They taught us how to be strong in difficult situations and accept life's unknowns. To understand that letting go of something that doesn't fit with your path is sometimes the hardest thing you can do. When you're in a relationship and understand that you're there because it fits your values, not because you're afraid to leave, this view can change everything. It changes everything. You're not staying out of fear or desperation. You're staying because it's your real choice. And that's the key. When you bravely leave behind what doesn't serve you, you make room for what does. It's like clearing out the past to make room for the future. Being sure that better things are coming your way and giving yourself the chance to find them are both important. Remember that being ready to move on doesn't mean you're cold or heartless. It means you care about yourself enough to say, I deserve something better. It's about being tough when things go wrong and knowing that our worth doesn't rest on other people or things. Lesson 5. Quietly putting limits in place. Stoicism stresses actions over words. The Stoics believed that beliefs should be shown, not just said. This is especially important when talking about setting boundaries in relationships. It's one thing to say what your boundaries are, but it's much more powerful to show them through your actions. This is something to think about. It's easy to say, I won't accept mistreatment, but the real test is whether you'll stick to your word or give in. That's where real strength lies, not in words, but in deeds. I know this isn't easy. It can be tough, especially when emotions are involved. But let's remember what the Stoics said. We have the power to decide how to react to things. When someone crosses a boundary, it's not just your words that set and maintain that boundary. For example, if honesty is one of your core values and someone lies to you, how you react shows how serious you are about your boundaries. Your deeds show how committed you are to your values, whether you choose to calmly deal with the problem or take a step back. Not to cause trouble, but to show self-respect by acting in a way that fits with what you believe in. This way of thinking can help make a big difference in your relationships by setting clear limits and being ready to stick to them. When people see that you're serious about your self-respect, they understand what you will and will not put up with. Let's take a simple look at a basic idea. It's not just the big events that matter, but also the little things that happen every day. How do you behave when plans change at the last minute or when someone doesn't value you enough? Do you ignore it or calmly let them know that their behavior is not acceptable? Stoic awareness comes in handy here. It means focusing on the present moment and how you react to it. Are your actions in line with your limits? Are you being true to yourself? It's important to pay attention to the little things, because that's when your limits are really put to the test as you go about your day and talk to other people. When we set our limits, let's try to be a little more patient. We don't have to be stubborn or unbending. We just need to have an inner guide that tells us what to do and how to react. Trust me on this. This makes people pay attention. They start to see you as someone who not only sets limits, but also cares enough about themselves to stick to them. Lesson 6. What you do says more than what you say. As we've learned, Stoicism is about using common sense. It means judging people by what they do, not just what they say. In our world, a lot of people say nice things, but don't do what they say. This is especially true in relationships. Stoics tell us to look past the charm and pay attention to actions instead, because actions reveal what is truly real. Think about this. It's easy for someone to say everything perfectly and paint a picture of a future that seems perfect. But are they really doing what they say? Are their actions backing up what they say? That's where the truth lies. Let's be honest. We've all been in situations where someone says amazing things about us and we fall in love with them. But as time goes on, their actions don't match their words. They say they'll call but don't. They make plans but cancel at the last minute. But we still believe what they said. This is when our Stoic side has to take over. Stoicism tells us not to let words or feelings change our minds. Being logical and seeing things as they really are means noticing when someone's actions don't match what they say. It's like the world is telling you, hey, pay attention, something isn't right here. This way of thinking changes how you deal with relationships. Instead of being swept away by promises and sweet words, you start to notice tiny things, like how they act. Under pressure, do they keep their promises? Are they present for you not only through words, but also through meaningful actions? Here's the interesting part. When you pay attention to what people do instead of just what they say, you set a standard. You're telling them, I'm not just listening to your words, I'm watching your actions. And that really makes an impact. They realize they can't just talk their way into your life. They have to prove they're genuine and worthy of your trust. But remember, this isn't about being negative or doubting everyone. It's about being smart about protecting your feelings with a dose of Stoic insight. This means not letting your emotions get the best of you. Stay grounded. So let's remember to pay attention to actions, not just words. Ultimately, actions are more important than words. Stoics believed that we should see things as they really are, not how we want them to be. This way of thinking is especially helpful when it comes to dating and falling in love. We've all been there. Someone says all the right things, and we want to believe them, even if there are red flags we choose to ignore. This is when having a calm attitude can help. Officially, being appropriately skeptical is like having a superpower. It doesn't mean being negative or suspicious. It means staying realistic and not taking everything at face value. It means paying attention, asking questions, and not jumping into things without giving them careful thought. Let's say you meet someone new and they seem great. They say lots of nice things and even talk about a future together, but it's only been a short time. Your skeptical Stoic mind would tell you to take it easy. See if their actions match their words, and watch how things go. Skepticism isn't about asking a lot of questions or doubting the other person's every move. Instead, it's about being thoughtful. It means not only listening to what they say, but also watching what they do. It means taking the time to really understand someone, to see if they're consistent and genuine. The Stoics stressed using logic and reason in relationships instead of letting emotions take over. This is important because when emotions take over, we may overlook important things. Having a bit of skepticism and logical thinking along with our feelings helps us see things more clearly. Another important thing is that having a bit of skepticism protects your heart because you're not rushing into something without knowing for sure. You're also giving yourself a chance to understand the other person's true nature instead of projecting your wants onto them. So let's remember how important it is to have a bit of Stoic skepticism. It's about being smart, paying attention, and not letting our feelings take over. It's about keeping ourselves and our emotional health safe. It's not about shutting down, but about taking new chances with careful thought and wisdom. Lesson 8. How to say no with confidence and stoicism. It's important to be true to yourself and your beliefs, being brave enough to stay true to yourself. This is especially important when it comes to relationships, because it means being clear about your beliefs and not being afraid to stick to them, even if it causes problems. For example, if you're in a relationship and your partner suggests doing something that doesn't feel good to you, it could be moving too quickly or asking you to do something that goes against your values. It might seem like the simple choice, but this is where your tough mentality comes in handy. Saying no in these situations is all about respecting yourself, your beliefs, and your limits. The little voice in your head keeps telling you that this isn't easy. It can be really hard, especially if you care about the person. They whisper, what if telling them no makes them not want to talk to you? But here's the thing. We need to get brave. Stoicism isn't just about dealing with problems in the outside world. It's also about dealing with problems inside our own heads. Face on. Saying no is a sign of self-respect. It shows that you value yourself and won't settle for less than what you earn. Yes, you might lose them, but that's not the point. If someone leaves you because you say no to something that goes against your morals, then maybe they weren't the right person for you in the first place. When someone sees that you're not afraid to say no and won't give up your values to please them, it changes how they see you. It shows that you have self-respect and value yourself, which is very appealing. Another quiet point of view. Saying no isn't just about setting limits with other people. It's also about being honest with yourself. It's about being aware of your true wants and needs in a relationship and sticking to them. It's about not letting the fear of being alone push you into choices that aren't in line with your true self. Let's take a moment to think about this. Saying no is not only okay, it's necessary. It's about staying true to ourselves, living with integrity, as the Stoics stressed. It's about building relationships based on mutual respect and sincere connection instead of fear and obligation. 9. Never chase value. This fits well with everything we've been talking about, especially when we look at it from a calm point of view. Stoicism teaches us to focus on what we can control and let go of what we can't. This idea has a big effect on relationships because it means realizing that chasing someone who is moving away from us is not only pointless, but it also goes against knowing our own worth. Think about this situation. We've all been in relationships where things seemed great at first, but then the other person started pulling away. Our first instinct is to run after them to try to bridge the gap, but Stoicism can help us do the right thing. Stoics would ask, why are you pursuing something that you can't control? The answer lies in your sense of self-worth, your sense of dignity, and your peace of mind. Following someone who is pulling away is like trying to hold water in your hands. It doesn't work and makes you feel empty. Instead, The Stoic method tells you to be sure of your own worth. If someone is moving away from you, let them go. It's not about being cold or unfeeling. It's about realizing that you can't control how other people feel or act, but you can control how you react. Let's face it, this isn't easy. It takes a lot of inner strength to resist the urge to check up on someone. It's believing that if someone really values you, they'll show it. It's refusing to let someone else's behavior affect you. It's empowering and frankly freeing to say, I deserve respect. And if you can't see that happening, then someone else will. This mindset changes everything. It gives you back control. You're not dependent on someone else's unpredictable actions. You're in charge of how you feel and what you do. It's empowering and frankly freeing. And here's the kicker. When you stop chasing after others and start investing in yourself, your life, your development, great things happen. You naturally attract people who are drawn to your strength, confidence, and sense of self-worth. It's like you're sending a message that says, I value myself, and I'm aware of it. Let's internalize this lesson. Let's adopt a Stoic attitude in our relationships. Let's focus on what we can control. It's about finding peace within ourselves instead of looking for approval from others. As we come to the end of our conversation today, I want you to remember something very important. Your self-worth is like the brightest thread that binds everything together. Just like the Stoics thought, you can choose how you react to what happens around you. Don't forget that you are in charge of your own honor and self-esteem. Embrace your inner strength and let your actions, decisions, and limits reflect the amazing person you are. If you ever doubt yourself, remember this moment and the Stoic wisdom we've talked about. Life isn't just something you have to endure, it's a chance to grow, becoming stronger and wiser every day. If you enjoyed our chat today,